Thank you so much to Cheryl Bose, Teresa Dudley, Sean Johnson, and Adam Mendelson for the esteemed honor to be with you all today. And thank you to each and every one of you for the incredible work that you continue to do to elevate the quality of public education for all students. I know the work, I have done the work. I have been in your very seat as a delegate and representative. In fact, I will always remember my first time as I served as a delegate. It was my husband, who now serves as a UniServe director for MSEA, go Rob, who encouraged me to participate when he and I were both serving at Bates Middle School in Annapolis, Maryland. I learned so much that weekend and felt the excitement that comes from the empowerment of voice. And when Adam asked me to speak at this event, it felt so surreal to me that I would be the one giving this speech as opposed to receiving it. To me, this will be the greatest venue I will speak at all year as State Teacher of the Year, because the work that you do here has ripple effects that impact your colleagues, that then impact your students, and the communities across our beautiful state. We are one and the same. I stand before you in front of a room of advocates as a fellow advocate for incorporating wellness practices to the betterment of public school education. As you dedicate your time in this convention to make positive differences in professionals' lives, resulting in quality education across the state of Maryland, I hope my message can elevate your energy to this very important work. My message for Maryland public education is that the foundation for success begins with being healthy in mind and body, and that each individual, student, employee, families, and community members have the ability to be in control of their own wellness. We as a state school system have the responsibility and capacity to empower our community by providing the tools to create a healthy lifestyle. By doing so, we can close the gap of an equitable access to mental well-being resources. This message has essentially become my mission, and one that I've dedicated my entire career to, and I'm honored to now share that with the educational framework for all Maryland public schools. My journey with Anne Arundel County Public Schools has offered me the opportunity to see the powerful outcomes that come from using wellness as a thread to unite us. My mission comes with action, and that action is provided through sharing tangible and concrete resources with our students, their teachers, educational support professionals at all levels, families, and the community. I would be honored to share with you one simple resource now. So of course I'm going to invite you to do something. I'm going to invite you to please stand. I promise we will just be standing, but I'm going to guide you through something called a mini body scan. Walk over this way. Yes. Thank you for the mic switch. Okay. So I want you to first look down at your feet, and they're going to look like a number 11. So there's a little bit of a gap. And then we're going to soften your knees. I love using the analogy, if you could imagine yourself standing on a marshmallow, what that would do to your knees, right? You'd soften, okay? We're going to roll the shoulders back, and now we're going to roll them forward. And then we're going to just allow ourselves to relax. Feel the floor beneath you. Again, feel that shift as we move up the body. And I'm going to invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze. And in your mind's eye, I'd like for you to go ahead and visualize your feet. And feel the feet relax. Visualize the legs and hips and feel these areas relax. Visualize the abdomen and lower back, the chest and upper back, and feel these areas release the tension that lives there. Imagine the look of your fingers, hands, and arms, and feel the tension trickle away. Go ahead and imagine the look of your shoulders. Feel them soften. Imagine your neck, your face, and feel these areas release and relax. And now taking a deep breath, perhaps the biggest breath of your day, inhale. And as you exhale, feel that breath move back down to the feet. And one more time, inhaling, feeling the scan move up the body again. And as you exhale, feel it go to where it's needed. And when you're ready, you can open the eyes and refocus the gaze. And you can go ahead and take a seat. So thank you. Thank you so much for engaging in that practice with me. It was critical for me to share a practice with you because I wanted you to feel my message. Consider where you are now and where you were before you did that. That was perhaps 45 seconds. And consider the shift that has hopefully given you after a long day. And now think of how that would translate to the lives of our students. So I'd like for you to imagine a third grader, youngest of 9, who struggles with anger issues until a mentorship with a high schooler enables him to learn how to use a breathing sphere to calm. And then imagine the 7th grader struggling with their sexual identity until an after-school yoga club provides the acceptance that they crave. Imagine the 11th grader who's learned how to meditate in AP Physics, and on the morning of her SATs, she takes that very practice and translates it to ease her testing anxiety. Imagine the teen mom who struggles with the demands of everything until a trauma-informed wellness group provides the stability that she craves. Imagine the staff member who is so zapped out on compassion fatigue until a monthly wellness offering like acupuncture provides relief. Imagine the parent who is struggling to connect with her daughter who suffers from anorexia until they take a forest bathing class offered at a community school-based wellness event. Imagine such an environment where we all could be functioning at our highest and healthiest selves. And so I'm going to ask you to practice again, but you don't have to stand up. So in your seat, I'm going to ask you to please go ahead and straighten the spine. And we're going to take another deep breath, but this time to my count of 3. So go ahead and inhale for 1, 2, 3, and exhale 3, 2, 1. If you're comfortable, you can close the eyes again or just soften the gaze. And I'm going to invite you now to imagine yourself. Imagine the stress relief that you deserve, that you're worthy of, that you need. And mentally to yourself, I want you to say, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be safe, may I be at peace. And now I want you to imagine someone else you know who could really use the support of a wellness practice. Maybe it's a staff member that you're advocating for. Maybe it's a group of students who you know deserve better. Or maybe it's a community that's underserved. Visualize them in your mind's eye. And now I would like for you to say mentally to yourself, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you be at peace. And taking one last breath, you can go ahead and open the eyes. Would you believe that each one of the scenarios that I provided is a real one? Each one is, just as your scenario right now for your own self and whoever you imagined is real. And I took these real scenarios and it inspired me to create a holistic wellness program at Annapolis High School that provides access to these resources for all people. That was my biggest hope, and it has been a dream come true. The wellness program, the only one in my district as of now, has 4 pillars that are designed to spread wellness practices throughout the whole school community. Wellness in the classroom looks like the push-in resource model, where I pair up with teachers to spend 5 to 10 minutes with their classes a day, exposing them to wellness strategies like the one we just practiced. A strong data point to showcase the essence of this work is that in 2020-2021, so the pandemic, students who practiced meditation in AP Physics at Annapolis High School scored 3 times higher than the global average. I'm going to say that one more time. They scored 3 times higher than the global average. That was my student, one of which I referred to, who then took that practice and translated it to the morning of her SATs. So not only did this assist with academics, but we know the mental load that comes from testing, and a simple pause, a meditation, eased this. The next pillar, wellness enrichment, involves wellness club, wellness and athletics, and extracurriculars, and trauma-informed wellness groups led by myself and school counselors and therapists. These groups shift with each year's need, and currently we are offering groups to support students with anxiety, substance abuse in the home, grief, freshmen, and teen parents. The third pillar is employee wellness, which consists of monthly wellness offerings that are provided for all staff members, regardless of role in the building. This past year, over 60% of the staff at A-High reported that it helped to ease their compassion fatigue. The last pillar is community wellness, where partnerships have been established to support our school in and out of the community, with several wellness events offered throughout this year. I've also been able to implement a county-wide yoga program and social-emotional learning and wellness curriculum for all 25,000 high schoolers in addition to the wellness program. I'm so certain about these programs that I'm currently engaged in a partnership with Johns Hopkins University conducting research to demonstrate its outcomes. And the research is showing positive outcomes, ones that we need to address the mental health crisis that continue to pervade our post-pandemic world. The National Alliance of Mental Illness reports that 1 in 6 youth experience mental health conditions, and that 50% of all lifetime mental health conditions begin before 14 years of age, and 75% before 24 years of age. As a state school system, we have the ability to ease this so long as we provide the resources. The impact of using wellness resources and tools within the educational setting lives on through the stories of the lives that have been impacted by them. And the story actually began with my own. As a late teen, I struggled greatly with depression and anxiety. Discovering yogic practices in college is what I attribute to becoming mentally well and honestly saving my life. At the age of 23, I became a yoga teacher the summer in between the completion of my master's in special education at the State University of New York at Cortland. I knew this was something I had to share with my students because I wished I learned it sooner. I went on to write my master's thesis on how yoga affects people with disabilities, and the last entry in my journal from my yoga training at the Shivananda Ashram in Quebec stated, "How amazing would it be to share these practices in schools? I hope one day I can figure out a way to do this." And this came in the most surprising and beautiful way. And I get choked up when I talk about it because it really has just been this organic journey, and it's been a dream. Of course, with its challenges, but a dream. Nearly 2 months into teaching, I almost quit because I believed that I wasn't good enough for my students. I felt like a failure. In my 8th grade co-taught language arts classroom, our average for the first quarterly assessment was a 24%. I knew something had to change, and deep down, I knew that based on the stories I knew of my students, that they were unavailable for learning. I tried incorporating yoga and mindfulness for 5 to 10 minutes each day as a last resort, and with the hope that it would shift their mindsets like it did mine. And the results were astounding. A jump to a class average of 85%, astounding, by 3rd quarter. Thank you. Seeing their improvement in not only their wellness, but their academics and their social interactions made me realize the power that wellness practices have in opening the door to endless possibilities in education. It did it for me, it has done it for my students, my colleagues, and my district. The last part of my story that I want to highlight is that after my 4th year of teaching in special education, I was really burnt out, stressed to an extreme degree. At the end of my 4th year, I faced a near-death experience of bilateral pulmonary embolisms and other blood clots being dispersed in my body at the age of 28. I found myself at this crossroads in my life and questioning my identity, which was always connected to an active lifestyle. As a former ocean lifeguard, swimmer, runner, and yogi, having limited mobility crushed me. And the summer of 2014, I found myself having to put starting a family on hold and having to be on modified bed rest to heal. It was then that I knew I needed the shift. I embarked on deep reflection, realizing that the best part of my days were seeing my students fall into their authentic selves through wellness practices. And that summer, I decided to write an 82-page yoga curriculum on a whim, and from that point, the rest is history. I was able to pilot the class, move it district-wide, and create the wellness program that is AHI today. Our own stories, our colleagues' stories, our students and their family stories, and the thread that unites us is wellness. It's the call to take care of ourselves so we can take care of another, to set ourselves up for success and to be present in each moment of learning and growing. This is the essence of the very work that you are doing here. Because when we empower our delegates, our staff members, our students to know that they are in control of their own wellness, then we empower our community as a whole to thrive as one Maryland, being the healthiest it can be and providing the optimal school environment we all deserve. I urge you as delegates to recognize the benefits of wellness practices and the impact it can have on you and the domino effect that it will have on the lives you reach. And together, we can be advocates together. Thank you again to everyone here. Take care of yourself and be well. Thank you so much.
Great job.